Technology Integration Planning or TIP. Technology Integration Planning or TIP is a model created for teachers as a guide that ensures the efficiency of integration of technology in education. TIP gives teachers a systematic way to identify and address challenges involved in integrating technology into teaching practices. Further, TIP model shows teachers how to establish a milieu in which technology can effectively enrich learning. In the earlier editions of TIP model, there were 5 to 6 phases to enable the teachers successfully integrate technology in instruction. In the recent edition, which is the 6th edition, it boils down into 3 phases with sub-steps in each phase. Here's the phases of Technology Integration Planning or TIP. We have 3 phases with sub-steps in each phase. Phase 1, Analysis of Learning and Teaching Needs. And under this phase, we have Step 1, Determine Relative Advantage. Step 2, Assess Tech Pack. For Phase 2, which is Planning for Integration, it has 3 sub-steps. Step 3, Decide on Objectives and Assessments. Step 4, Design Integration Strategies. Step 5, Prepare Instructional Environment. For Phase 3, it involves 2 sub-steps. Phase 3 is about post-instruction analysis and revisions. Step 6, Analyze results, and Step 7, Make revisions. For Phase 1, Analysis of learning and teaching needs. The first step is determine the relative advantage. The focus of this step is to answer the question, will a technology-based method offer a relative advantage? Heraclitus once said that nothing is permanent in this world except change. But some people resist to change things that they are used to doing because according to them, they're still able to deliver well using the old method even if there are new better approaches to achieve the task. However, change may be acceptable if they would understand the advantages of the new method over the old one. This is seeing a relative advantage as mentioned by Everett Rogers. Below are the measures to see relative advantage easier. First is compatibility. Methods consistent with their cultural values and beliefs and others adopted in the past. For example, teachers see using technology as compatible with their views of being an updated teacher. The second measure is complexity. It means it's easy enough for them to learn and to carry out on a frequent basis. Teachers who use technology-based methods feel no fear and find no difficulties in understanding and learning something new. The third measure to see relative advantage easier is triability. This means being able to try out a little before making a final decision. Teachers have the courage to try using and applying technology-based methods than saying no to it outright. And the last measure to see relative advantage easier is observability. This means seeing others they respect or emulate using the new method successfully. Observation is one of the many ways to help teachers decide whether technology-based method will be helpful or not, or if it is effective or not. At this phase, teachers do curriculum review and assessment of teaching methods. Then, they determine problems in instruction and find out which technology may be helpful to remedy the problem. The second step is assess tech pack. The focus of this step is to answer the question, what is my technological, pedagogical content knowledge or tech pack? Teachers have to be proficient in content, pedagogy, and technology before the day of instruction comes. The teacher has to spend time in understanding all the components of knowledge to have a better and successful delivery of the lesson. Being knowledgeable of the content, pedagogy, and technology will make the teacher confident in the entire process of teaching and learning. This tech pack helps to emphasize technology contribution to teaching. The next phase is planning for integration. Under this phase is step 3, which is decide on objectives and assessments. The focus of this step is to answer the question, how will I know students have learned? Teachers define the skills they want their students to possess upon learning the lesson and create ways to measure the authenticity of students' learning and how successful the activities have been carried out by them. The problems that have been identified in Phase 1 must be addressed successfully by defining observable and measurable outcomes. Then, teachers design activities or performance tasks to measure the outcomes. Teachers must remember that having more than the multiple choice activities is better to effectively see authentic learning among learners. The next step is design integration strategies. The focus of this step is to answer the question, what teaching strategies and activities will work best? Teachers decide on pedagogies and study its execution. In deciding on the instructional course of action, the characteristics of the topic and the needs of the students are being taken into consideration whenever teachers create an instructional design for technology integration. With this, teachers make decision on: first is instructional approaches, may it be traditional or constructivist approach. Second is on curriculum approaches, may it be single subject approach or interdisciplinary approach. Third is grouping. Could it be from individual to pair or group learning? The fourth is sequence. Must have acquired technology prerequisite skills to successfully learn from the resources. The next step is prepare instructional environment. The focus of this step is to answer the question, are essential conditions in place to support teaching and learning? Teachers establish the educational environment to carry out effectively the plan of using technology in teaching and learning. With the support of International Society for Technology in Education or ISTE, the teachers will be guided in setting the essential standards to unleash at its best level the potentials of technology tools and methods when used in teaching and learning. Teachers have to remember that integration of technology in education would only be successful if there is an adequate hardware, software, and technical support available. The last phase is about post-instruction analysis and revision. Under this phase is step 6, which is about analyze results. The focus of this step is to answer the questions, what worked well and what could be improved. Teachers have to spend time reflecting and assessing themselves to determine whether the integration of technology and if all processes in teaching and learning went on smoothly and have been successful in the delivery. The last step is making revisions. The focus of this step is to answer the question, should I make the revisions? After analyzing the results, it is important to determine the necessary areas which need improvement for better execution of instruction with technology integration the next time around.